Hi, this is Bentley's mom. Okay, we're gonna do the homework guided practice. We're gonna do 1 through 3 on the guided practice on chapter 12, lesson 4. And what I'm gonna do, because it's just a lot of writing and explaining, I'm going to actually take the phone and just kind of zoom in on the paper, if that's okay. So Bentley, want to hand me the phone? Okay, so here we go. Okay, on number 1, it says the histogram shows the wait time in minutes for entering a concert. Describe the shape of the distribution. Okay, so the data is not symmetrical. So do you see how it's more to the left and then you have an outlier over here? So anytime it's not symmetrical and there's an outlier, that's a good time you want to use the median. So I just said describe it. I wrote data is not symmetrical and more to the left. There's a gap between 50 and 89. So I used the vocabulary word gap. And there is an outlier for the wait time of 90 through 99. See the outlier way to the right? And I would use median instead of mean to best represent this data. Okay, now the second one, it didn't ask that, but I just wrote that. This says the line plot. They actually made a mistake in the book. This should say, they should say a box plot or box and whiskers. So the box and whiskers plot shows the weights in pounds of several dogs. Describe the shape of the distribution. So we can see here, this is not symmetrical. This box is not right in the middle with equal whiskers. It's moved to the right, and we have an outlier right here at 20. So using your words, you can use those vocabulary. I just wrote, the data is not symmetrical. It's more to the right. There is an outlier at 20. I would use the median to best represent this data. And the median is best shown in a box and whisker plot, which is what this is. Okay, and then the next one, and I'm actually going to change this. Sorry. This should say box plot. Okay. Then the next one, number 3, it says the line plot shows the number of hours several students spent on the internet during the week. Choose the appropriate measure to describe the center and spread of distribution. Justify a reason based on the shape of the distribution. So if you look at the shape, do you see how this is symmetrical? Okay, it goes up to a peak right in the middle, so there's the center of the data, and it's very symmetrical. That's when you want to use the mean. Okay, this is totally different when all the data is like moved to the left and there's an outlier. So in this case, you can write something like the data are centered and the line plot is symmetrical. There are no outliers. So there's no outlier. So I would use the mean to best represent this data. You can write something like that. Then in B, it actually wants you to find the mean. It says write a few sentences describing the center and spread of the distribution. So to find that spread, we need to find the interquartile range. And if we're using the mean, the measure of center, in this case, we need to find the mean. So I took all these values and added them up. You can see right here, and I got 68, and I divide them by how many there were, there were 17 x's, and I get 4. So that's the mean. The interquartile range, you go and you count, you find the median, and then you count here, find the first and third quartiles, and you get 5 and 3. We're going to subtract that and get 2. That means the spread from 4 is kind of 2 on each side. And let's see. Yeah, that's good. So that's about it. So basically, if it's not symmetrical and there's an outlier, the median's the best way to go. And if it's symmetrical like this with no outlier, the mean is the best way to describe the distribution. Okay, and that's it. Have a good day.